Hello there, Earthling, and welcome back to Podcastage. This is my review of a cheapie, the Neat Worker B2, which I bought on sale for only $40 frickin' dollars. That's so little money. It typically ranges from like 60 to 100. If you want to check it out, I'll throw some links down below. I did buy it with my own money. All of my recording settings will be listed in the description, as well as the doobly-doo. And what do you say we talk about what comes in the box? Wilson! In case you didn't believe me that it was Wilson, yes, Wilson has been sitting on top of my door for 10 years. What a surprise, you get the microphone, a microphone clip, a 5/8 to 3/8 inch microphone stand adapter, and a little bit of documentation. Then as far as the build quality, I think this thing feels perfectly fine. It has an all-metal body. The metal mesh grill is very large and does have some give to it, so just be careful with it. As we move around the mic, there are no buttons or switches. On the bottom, you have the XLR port, and just for your FYI, China is where it's made. I will not be reading the specifications to you, but I will have them listed in the description, as well as have the graphs and info up on screen in case you want to pause and take a closer look at anything. Now spinning around the worker bee to 90 degrees to show you the off-axis coloration. Continuing around to 180 degrees, this is the rear of the mic. Continuing around to the second 90-degree angle, and then rotating and ending at the front of the mic. Oh, the plosives are going to be bad on this one, but let's hear how this thing does at plosive rejection. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide prepared pizza. It's not good. Pronto. There you go. I did it. Now I am right on top of the worker B2, and this should exaggerate the proximity effect quite a bit, and here is how it's sounding in this situation. Next, about 6 inches off of the mic with it pointed at the corner of my mouth, and here's how it sounds. About 1 foot away from the worker B2, about 2 feet away from the worker B2, and approximately 4 feet away from the Neat Worker B2. Now typing on Gatoron blue switches with my air conditioning running to see how much of that it can reject. And for the gamers, here are the SAD W and spacebar keys. Now here is how the worker B2 sounds about 6 inches from my mouth in a relatively well-treated room. Now get ready for it, because now here is how the Neat Worker B2 sounds about 6 inches from my mouth in a completely untreated room. Now I want to see how effective the microphone and the mount are at rejecting shock, so I'll start by tapping on my desk to see how much of that it can reject. And then I will tap on the boom arm. I am also incredibly annoying, and I want to hear if this microphone has any resonances, so I'm going to tap on it. My God, this is a disaster. I just went and started grabbing a bunch of mics that I wanted to hear compared to the worker B2. Turns out we're doing 16 comparisons, so I am pleading, I am begging. Please watch the whole thing, because this is gonna tank the viewership and the retention, and this video is gonna suck in the algorithms. That's my begging. Let's go ahead and start the comparison. This is the Neat Worker B2, 6 inches off, gain at 31 decibels. Let's hear the first mic. First up, I am on the Neat Worker B1. This is the original microphone that was discontinued maybe 4 or 5 years ago. 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels. Check the lower third, and let's go back and do a lot more. Back on the Neat Worker B2, here's how it sounds. Let's move on. Next, I'm on the original Neat King B, which was also discontinued 4 or 5-ish years ago. 6 inches off, gain at 31 decibels, check the lower third. This microphone looks cool and not gaudy. This is the Neat Worker B2 again, 6 inches off, 24-bit bit depth. Let's hear the next one. New, I am on the Neewer NW700, 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels. This microphone costs about $25, but you're not just getting a mic, you're also getting a bell. That's value. This is the Neat Worker B2 again. Here's how it's sounding. Sample rate at 48 kilohertz. Let's go to another mic. Next, I am on the Mackie EM91C, 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels. Check the lower third to see how much I boost it. This microphone costs about $45, so pretty much exactly what I paid for the Worker B on sale. There you go, let's do some more. I have already run out of settings to talk about. This is the Worker B2 again. This is a palette cleanser. Let's do some more of these. Next, I am on the Tascam TM80, another cheapie. I am 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels. This microphone costs about $50-ish, and there you go. Let's do a whole lot more. We have so much more to go. Here is the Worker B2 to be a palette cleanser. Let's hear whatever the next one is. Now I am on a home studio legend, the MXL 990, probably everybody's first home studio mic back in like 2009. I am 6 inches off of this thing, gain at 31 decibels still. This mic costs about $100, and there you go. Here is another palette cleanser on the Neat Worker B2. Are you shocked? Let's hear whatever the next one is. Now, on to another home studio classic, the Audio Technica AT2020, say it with me, 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels. I am a robot, I have no emotions, I am dead inside. This microphone is $100. Let's move on. This is the Neat Worker B2 again to clear out your ear canals. That's enough, let's go to another one. Next, I'm on the SE Electronics X1a, 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels, no pad and no high-pass filter engaged. I think this will be a future home studio classic. This microphone costs about $100, and there you go. Let's move on. Hello, I am on the Neat Worker B2 again. I am losing my mind. Let's hear whatever the next microphone may be. Now on the Lewitt LCT240, 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels. This microphone also costs about $100, and it is probably the current home studio classic banger something. I gotta stop talking. Okay, here is the Neat Worker B2 palette cleanser again. Let's hear what the next microphone may not be. Now onto the AKG P120, 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels, no pad, no high-pass filter engaged. This microphone costs about $115, and there you go, AKG against Neat, or Turtle Beach. Here's the Worker B2 again. I have no idea what I am saying. I am yapping. Let's go to another microphone. Next, I am on the Shure PGA 181, 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels. This microphone costs about $120. No pads, no filters on this thing. There you go, let's hear some more. Here we are on the Worker B2 again for a palette cleanser. That's enough talking, let's hear another microphone. Now I am on the big brother to the Worker B2 over there, the Neat King Bee version 2, 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels, no pads or filters on this thing. This mic costs about $170, and there you go. Would you believe me if I told you we are on the Neat Worker B2 again? Because we are, and let's hear another microphone comparison. Hello there, now I am on the Rode NT1 5th Gen. Why am I talking like this? 6 inches off, gain at 31 decibels, and this microphone costs about $250. This is the 5th Gen connected over XLR. Let's move on to the other stuff. This is the Neat Worker B2 again, 6 inches off, gain still at 31 decibels. Let's hear another one. Now onto the references, and I am starting on the Shure SM57, 6 inches off, gain at 53 dB. This microphone is a dynamic that costs about $100, Everybody has likely used this and heard it a million times, hence including it in the description. Let's do 2 more. Alright, here is your penultimate palette cleanser on the Neat Worker B2. Let's jump to the second to last microphone. Next, I'm on the Earthworks SR117, 6 inches off, gain set at 45 decibels. This is a handheld condenser that costs about $200. It is pretty flat in the frequency response, so it should let us hear the character of the Worker B2. Let's move on. And we have one final microphone to go. You know what it's going to be, and let's go ahead and jump to it right now. I am on the Neumann U87AI Cardioid pattern. No pad, no filters on this thing. 6 inches off, gain still set at 31 decibels. This microphone costs about $3,700. This is a fair comparison between the U87 and the $40 microphone that I bought. Let's go ahead and jump to the music test while people fume over that. If you can, 'cause they'll help no man. A meaningless wish that you'd enjoy that dish. I do not miss eating Domino's for every single meal at all. I just need you to ignore the fact that every single song is about that. And every single song sounds like I'm the most miserable person. I'm not about to cry. Let's just move on. I don't need to explain myself to you. Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room. At $40, this thing is absolutely insane. It is so good. At $75, I think this is very good. And at $100, it performs admirably against a lot of really great competition. And first up, as far as pros, has to be the price of this thing. It is just incredibly affordable for the sound quality you're getting. If you can find this for sub $75 new, it is just insane. Secondly is the sound quality out of this thing. I think you're getting a very nice sounding recording out of this for such a low price. And then as far as cons, the number one issue for me is the complete lack of plosive rejection. It is just abysmal at handling those, and I will demonstrate for you. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza. It's not good, so you need to have some kind of pop filter, and at this price, they just don't include it. Secondly, it also didn't do a great job at shock rejection, so if I bump on my desk, that is going to make it into the recording. If you tap on the boom arm or the mic stand that is connected to, that's going to make it in. And again, at this price point, they no longer include a shock mount, which would have been really great if they had. Okay, now what are my overall thoughts and opinions of the Neat Worker B2? As far as the overall sound, I would classify this as a slightly V-shaped microphone. You get a really heavy low end in the bass and low mids, but it doesn't come across as overly boomy or muddy. In the mid frequencies, they are pulled back and recessed a little bit, so they don't come across overly dominant or forward, but at the same time, it doesn't sound overly scooped like Babby's first EQ or anything. And then you get a nice and articulate treble section and an open air frequency range. On the electric guitar, I thought this worked quite well. It offered a really thick low end, but also a punchy sound and a clear top end. On the acoustic guitar, I really liked it. I thought this was quite flattering with how heavy the body was, how well rounded it was, but it still had that articulation and detail in the upper frequencies. For singing, I also thought this worked quite well. I like the amount of top end that you're getting on this because it's giving you a bit of excitement, a bit of shimmer, but it's not overdone or overboosted. And for spoken word, I think this can be very flattering with how thick the low end can be, with the mids being slightly recessed, and then you also have that clear top end without it being overboosted and without it becoming too harsh. And now to wrap up, would I recommend the Neat Worker B2? Yes, I would. At $40 to $75, I have said this a couple of times, it is absolutely insane how good this thing sounds. I didn't compare it against every sub $100 microphone, but against the three I compared it against, I think it blew them out of the water. But then at the $100 price point, I think this thing sounds fantastic, but it has a lot of very steep competition. The AT2020, the SE X1a, the LCT240, AKG P120, MXL 770, 990, 550, and probably about a trillion others. It just has a lot of competition at that price point. But this does offer something slightly different than the competition, and that is the sound profile with that slight V shape to it. Most of the others are just very bright or leaning a bit towards a neutral side. So if you are looking for a $100 microphone and you want that V shape, I think this is a really nice option, but as I already pointed out, this does have two flaws which need to be addressed if you're picking this up. Number one and most primary is plosive rejection, so if you're getting this, just make sure you have a pop filter or you have impeccable microphone technique and you can talk into a microphone without sending any air in its direction. Number two is the shock rejection. I would absolutely recommend getting a shock mount if you can find one that fits this thing because it would benefit greatly, or at the very least put this on a microphone stand that's not acoustically coupled to your desk or on a stand that's not going to be subject to a lot of rumble.